Good morning and good afternoon, Masters. I'm so happy you all are here today. We are talking about chapter 3. It's the placebo effect in the brain. So, in our last session, yesterday we discussed the history of the placebo effect and how belief alone has been used to heal people for centuries. And today we are going to explore how this happens inside our own brain, and you will discover something very surprising. You are already creating placebo effects in your life, and every single day, whether you realize it or not. So, let's start off with this very simple truth. Your thoughts have a direct impact on your brain and your body. So, like for example, um, have you ever felt sick to your stomach just worrying about something? Have you ever gotten sweaty palms before a big meeting or presentation? This seems like very common, right? We are in this kind of situation. And that's your thought, changing your brain chemistry and your body's reaction. So now, if negative thoughts can make us feel worse, imagine what positive, hopeful, intentional thoughts could do. And this is what the placebo effect is all about. Your brain responding to what you expect, what you believe, not just what's physically happening. So, Dr. Dispenza in this chapter explains there are three things that make the placebo effect work. So, let's break them down in simple terms. So, first one is he talks about conditioning, how your brain learns to associate things with relief or discomfort. So the way you have conditioned your brain, that's what the outcome would be. So let's first look at the this first key ingredient. Uh, in this one, like conditioning, it's like one of the key main ingredients in his list. Uh, it says how the placebo effect works in your brain and body. It's all because of your conditioning. And you might have heard of the famous experiment by a scientist named Ivan Pavlov. So, Pavlov worked with dogs, and every time he fed the dogs, he rang a bell. So, initially, the dogs would only drool when they saw the food. But over the period of time, they just hearing the bell, and even when there is no food, the bell made the dogs start drooling. So why? Because that was their brain's conditioning. That's how those dogs' brain has been trained. So how they basically react to this just hearing the bell, not because of they haven't even seen the food. So it's the training or conditioning or to connect the sound of the bell with the feeling of food arriving. So that's how basically over the period of time, the way we think, the way the same way we condition our brain. So we do this to ourselves all the time. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's dogs, but what about people? So, well, we are not so different. Our brains work the same way. We constantly create associations between sight, sound, smells, or situations, and the feelings or experiences that follow them. So, let's say every time you get a headache, and what do? You take a aspirin or Tylenol. At first, the aspirin relieves the pain, but over the period of time, something interesting happens. By even seeing the aspirin bottle or holding the pill you in your hand might start to make you feel better before you even swallowed it. Why? because your brain has built a connection between the image of the aspirin bottle and the experience of relief. That's the conditioning. Your brain has been conditioned. And here is the fascinating part. If someone gave you a fake aspirin that looked exactly the same, your brain might still release pain, revolving chemicals on its own, just because it expects that relief to follow. So, how this happens in your brain? Inside your brain, there is neurons, little nerve cells, from connections when things happen together repeatedly. When you take a pill and then feel better, your brain wires those two events together. Pill, feel better. The more often this happens, the stronger those connections get. The faster your brain responds next time. So you're conditioning your brain if you're taking more aspirin when you have headache. Eventually, your brain can skip the middle step, the real pill, and go straight to triggering the body's natural healing chemicals like endorphins, just from a similar expectation. This is a classical conditioning in action. This isn't just about medicine. It happens in so many areas of our daily life as well. Like if you hear your favorite song and you instantly start feeling happy or nostalgic. The smell of fresh cookies that reminds you of your uh, grandma kitchen and makes you feel warm and cared for. The sound of an alarm clock triggers an instant jolt of stress because your brain associates it with waking up and rushing to start your day. You walk into a doctor's office and suddenly feel anxious, even if you are perfectly healthy, because you have built the association over years. Sometimes you see your blood pressure is higher when you're in doctor's office. This is where it gets really powerful. If your brains can be conditioned to associate certain images, sounds, or actions with stress, fear, or pain, they can also be trained to associate things with calm, confidence, and healing. So that's the first factor that Dr. Dispenza talked about. The next is meaning. You can deliberately create new association with triggers your body's natural ability to relax, recover, and feel good without needing a pill, injection, or external treatment. So there's a second ingredients that he talked about. And he also says there are um, meaning is really a very powerful concept because it reminds us that not just what we do that matters, it is the meaning we give to what we do. So, like when you understand why something is good for you and you believe in that purpose, it has a far greater effect on your mind and body. If you're doing something with a purpose, it has different effect. Let's use a great study example that Dr. Dispenza shares in his book. So there is a study, a group of hotel mates, they were split in two groups. First group was told nothing new about their daily cleaning work. But the second group, they told them that all the vacuuming, scrubbing, bed making, and walking they did every day. It counted as an excellent exercise. And they were even shown how many calories they burned doing those activities and how it improved their health. And here is what happened. After a few weeks, the mates who believed their work was good exercise, they lost weight and they lowered their blood pressure and it improved their health, other health markers. They didn't change their routine or work harder. The only thing that they have changed was the meaning that gave their daily tasks. Once they believed what they were doing was healthy and beneficial, their bodies began responding as if it really was. Because it was, and now their minds and bodies were on the same page. Your brain and body are always communicating with each other. When your brain assigns a positive and purposeful meaning for any activity, it triggers a different set of chemicals, the hormones, and biological responses. Then, when you do the same thing mindlessly and negatively, like for example, running because if you hate your body and you want to run, or versus running because you love running, you have different feelings and your hormone and emotions will respond accordingly, even if you run the same distance. So simply the thing is, whatever you're doing, do with love. Eating a salad because you should versus because you want to nourish your body and feel energized also creates different internal reactions. Meaning affects mood, motivation, stress levels, and even immune function. There should be some meaning when we do any action. This applies to placebos too. If someone takes a sugar pill but believes it's powerful medicine that will heal them, and if they understand how it's supposed to help, their brain will release healing chemicals like dopamine more readily than if they take it without explanation, without meaning. Because when the brain understands and accepts the meaning behind the action, it cooperates more willingly and fully. Meaning turns passive hope into active belief. So that's the second ingredient. In your everyday life, you can see you experience meaning. Like a hug from a loved one feels different than a just a handshake because of the meaning behind it. A job you believe in energize you more than one you have just clocking hours for. Volunteering. So the meaning you assign to an activity or belief often matters more than the activity itself, right? So that's the second one. The third ingredients Dr. Dispenza talks about is the expectations, right? So um, the third one is expectation. We have talked about conditioning and meanings before. So in that those we learned how the brain learns to associate things through experience. But this is about expectations. What happens when there is no past experience, only a strong belief or expectations about what might happen next? So that's the third one. Here is something fascinating about how your brain works. It doesn't always know the difference between something happening out there in the world and something you are vividly imagining in your mind. There is our brain doesn't know the difference between both. As long as you believe it's real or possible. So this means that when you truly expect something, whether it's relief, whether it's healing, calm, or even stress, your brain starts acting as if it's already happening. Like, for example, if you visit your doctor and they hand you a new medicine and say you, with very confidence, the medicine is going to change everything for you. You will start feeling better right away, right? So, why does this happen? Because your expectations sends a message to your brain. Relief is on the way, and your brain, being the amazing chemist that it is, starts mixing and releasing the chemicals, and it thinks you will what you need. So think about a movie you have watched that made you cry, or a scary scene that made your heart race. You knew it was not real, but your brain and body still reacted, right? So, why it happens? Because your brain responds to what you focus on and what you emotionally invest in, not just to what's physically in front of you. Similarly, happens with expectations. When you fully expect a positive outcome, your brain activates the various systems and chemicals that would respond if that outcome had already arrived. So, expectation shapes your reality. All right. So now these are the three ingredients. We will continue the same chapter 3 tomorrow. And now let's gently settle in and begin our meditation. So let's sit, relax your body completely, cross your legs, cross your hands, close your eyes. If you are wearing glasses, please remove them. And start focusing on your normal, natural breath. Thoughts will come and go. Please don't analyze them. Just focus on your breath. Normal, natural, calm breath. Be with your breath, masters. Be with your breath. Be with your breath, masters. Be with your breath. We'll continue our meditation for next 45 minutes. Be with your breath, masters. Be with your breath. Be with your breath, masters. Be with your breath. Be with your breath, masters. Be with your breath. Be with your breath.
guest bedroom, shower curtain when you get a chance. Please and bring all the laundry baskets. Okay.
Last 5 minutes, masters. Be with your breath. Last 1 minute, masters. Be with your breath. Be with your breath. Last 30 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, very slowly, very gently, bring your attention back to your body. Very slowly, put your hands on your closed eyes. Slowly blink your eyes and open them. Look at your palms with big smile. Take a moment to thank yourself for this time of stillness, awareness, and healing. This concludes our meditation session. May peace, love, and light be with you always. Thank you. Thank you. If you have any question or any comments, or if you want to share your experience, please do so now.
Sushma ma'am, I would like to share one experience about my grandmother. So when I was visiting, God bless her soul, she would take all the medicines but leave one on her glass plate on the lid, and then you go use the restroom and then come back, settle down, lay down, and then last thing before laying down, she would pop the pill. I asked my dad, I said, what is this magical pill that she pops last and then all other goes together? My dad goes, she thinks it's a sleeping pill and it's a calcium pill. So, and she would not even go take it before going to the bathroom because she would think that it will make her sleep in the bathroom too. So that's high of the level of the placebo effect was for her.
Yeah, see, and today we are talking about how this placebo effect based on our brain. So,
Exactly.
yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Sarvina.
We didn't know all this back then, right? We thought that was silly what she was
Yeah, now we
doing,
are
and it was
learning.
funny.
Yeah,
Thank you for the
thank you.
beautiful book. Have a good day, ma'am.
Thank you. You too. Anybody else? All right. So please remember these three ingredients that we talked about: conditioning, expectations, and meaning, what you do. So now we'll end the session. See you all tomorrow. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.